Leandre Gott Tejus.
Say, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Yes, sir. I hope y'all ready for an action-packed 30-minute post-practice report. If you're ready for it, type in the chat, put me in the game, Coach Smook. If you're watching it live, remember to like and share. If you're watching this post live, remember to like it. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss the post-practice reports during the day live. Jump in. Let's get into it. Can I get a, let me see. Can we get a roll tide? Somebody say, put me in the game, coach. Let's do it.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing. And we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all ready. Because I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to party a little bit. I'm ready to get into it today. Got some quality practice, post-practice reports for y'all today, man. Y'all know me. I don't hide nothing from y'all. I just try to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been saying over there. I try to keep it a buck. I try to tell y'all what it is. I try to tell y'all what's going on, what's 100 with our squad, man. So appreciate y'all for pulling up TikTok. I see y'all today. If you got something to say, I'm gonna be able to see it here on TikTok today. And what we got going on? Okay, the camera looks decent. We got the green screen popping back up tomorrow. Well, maybe tonight. We might have it tonight. Just a few little more tweaks and things. We got another light that we're going to be getting so that we can have the even light spread. But I like where we're set up at right now. It might move a little bit to get a better angle on this camera, but I like what we're looking like right now. Can we hear good? Is the audio good? Can y'all hear the music in the background? Bama Products, what's up, man? Bama Productions, I see you, big homie. I see you over there on TikTok. Nay, I see you. 07 Tay, what's good, everybody? I see everybody tapping in today. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. We got some vibes, got some things to talk about. As y'all see the B-roll going in the background, man, that's from yesterday's practice. For you, those that didn't get to see it, man, a lot of tight end action that we got to see. And it's fitting that we do see the tight ends to start this drill off because a lot of the text messages I got today and a lot of reports that I'm getting from camp are literally talking about the development of the tight end room. So we're going to get into that today. We also got what else we got? We got the running back room. Talked about the pairing and the duo, the pairing and the link and the duos between Richard Young and Daniel Hill being on the field together. A lot of excitement around that. Going to be exciting to see how we do this. See how this whole room pans out. Now, it's funny. I find it funny that yesterday, before anybody got any practice footage or got any reports out from practice, I was on the live yesterday morning, literally talking about Rico Scott. Literally speaking on Rico Scott from the opening of the show, and I reiterated on the end of the show. We talked about it Monday night when we got back. Tuesday night we were talking about it. Tuesday morning we were talking about it. Wake up today, and I look at some of the content that was put out yesterday with a lot of your people that claim to have this inside scoop, some of the team reporters and all these things, and they're talking about literally the same thing that I was talking about when it came to the wide receiver room and Rico Scott, Cole Adams, you know, how these guys are going to be able to benefit because of the guys in front of them. And this is funny because I love how people, you know, we know the story, but that means you all are liking and sharing. That means more people are getting to see the in real time reporting. I don't sit there and wait and decipher like what I can use to get clicks, right? I don't do all that. A lot of your channels, that's what they do. They got their analytical guys that do that. I just bring you all what's out there to be known. You know, what I feel like needs to be known. And I think this year the tight end room is going to be one of the more special groups as far as development, because you're going to see you're going to see exactly what I mean when I talk about this staff being able to have a system that develops players at a high rate. I mean, you could come in 2-star level, 3-star level, but if you buy into what this coaching staff is doing from the technical standpoint, also for what this offensive play calling scheme demands, you can see yourself excel when you possess the skill sets, and they do a very good job recruiting. The tight end room to me has been one of the more impressive groups that I've seen rebound compared to the Saban transition. Being able to retain CJ Dupree, you was able to bring Josh Cuevas over. You had Robbie Ouz retained on roster, kind of setting the tone for the type of H-back that you want to see, the type of tight end and split wide that you want to see in this offense with those skill sets. Returning this year, though, Josh Cuevas, you go on the portal, you get a name that I want everybody to pay attention to is Brody Dalton, the transfer from Troy. The young man has got into this mix. He's a tight end skill set that Ellis is used to coaching, possesses the same frame and skill sets that you've seen out of CJ Dupree last season. More so of a true tight end, in-line of scrimmage tight end, not so much more the split tight end that you're going to get from the likes of Josh Cuevas and Marshall Pritchett. You're going to get more of the traditional tight end set, but the receiving aspect of Dalton is something that is starting to catch the eyes of this staff. You have players on roster like Jay Lindsey, who's had a strong showing since spring, getting overloaded with a lot of those tight end reps after experiencing some of the injuries that we had in the spring. So we're going to talk about the tight end room a little bit today, but we're also going to talk about this secondary groupings. A lot of different groupings. Well, not a lot. We're seeing two main switches in the starting groups or the first groups put out for the first team defense. That are put out for the Alabama Crimson Tide on the defensive side. The front six are starting to look like, a consistent showing in that rotation, but the back five, the back end is starting to see a lot of mix-up and changes because of how good the depth is. Shout out to my brother Douglas Harrell for tapping in for the lunch hour. Appreciate Doug. If y'all don't know who Douglas Harrell is, that's I think he's we might be brothers for real. We may have came from two totally different sets of parents, might be two different skin colors, but that is my brother, and I wouldn't trade him for no other. Appreciate you pulling in, brother, and make sure y'all like and share this stream, man. Roll Tide only in the chat. We talking Alabama post-practice report here with your boy, Coach Smook. To Antonio, appreciate you for tapping in on TikTok. Everybody on TikTok, continue to tap the screen. Y'all have been doing a great job in promoting us and getting our name out there. We appreciate you all. Not a lot of people are on TikTok doing this type of content when it comes to covering any sports, but we're taking a chance and we're taking a leap, and it looks like Alabama Nation is appreciating the informative side of things, not just reacting as fans. We're not fans anymore when we approach this time of the year. We are really trying to analytically approach this thing and create creative content around it. So thank you all for supporting. So let's get into the conversations here on the Coach Smook Network. If you're ready, somebody say put me in the game, Coach. Somebody say, put me in the game, Coach. I got y'all, man. Let me try something. I want to try a little quick intro, a little segue intro real quick. I haven't done one of these in a minute. So here we go. We got the Smook Scoop here with your boy, Coach Smook. Let's jump into it. Let's go. I kind of like that. If that was beating in your speakers, let me know. So, yeah, Mary J, you did it right at the right time. Next time I'll just give you a cue. I just want to see if it worked anymore. But jumping into the conversation, y'all, I tweeted something out about the going live today. I purposely didn't do it way ahead of time, because you have a lot of people starting to bite off our content, and it's obvious. I'm tired of getting messages on DMs on Twitter talking about hey, man, weren't you just talking about this morning? Yes, man, it happens. It's kind of hard to be creative in this space when you have so many channels trying to represent one team and so many people trying to bite off of what the other team or the other channel is doing. And I think it's good. You got to be true to who you are, though. If you're an insider like I claim to be, and I truly believe I stepped up and became a networking resource for the university when it comes to putting information out, and the way that we put it out, it creates a lot of questions and conversations and buzz. So I'm going to continue to do that as an insider. I don't think being an insider is exposing who your inside information is coming from, like a lot of you trolls on Twitter be trying to do. Like, why would I tell you and you don't even want to put your real face on why would I tell you and you don't even want to put your real face on your profile? That's kind of weird to me. I'm just saying. But looking at it, man, you have different avenues of approach to how we report this information. You got people who are journalists that report it on the screen. You got panelists that claim to be analysts and experts, but being an insider, I have found a lane that allows me to just conversate. I'm in conversations, and a lot of things get revealed to me because of the way that we carry conversations. So today, being text a lot of messages about the Alabama tight end room and the type of skill sets that we have available there. I think this is going to be one of the more talented group of tight ends, and because of that, we won't see a star emerge from this group. This group will be success by committee. I think this will be impact by committee. I think you'll have your three mainstays as far as the rotation. And right now, I truly believe Josh Cuevas is the true leader in that room. We have high hopes for Danny Lewis, but I truly see his skill set not matching what this offensive system demands. And that's not a bad thing, only to the effect that he's literally developing in a system that he probably won't excel in next year if he hits the portal, or if he decides to stay, he will be limited in his role because of the skill sets that he possesses. I don't think he provides the same vertical stretch ability from the tight end position, meaning he can't get downfield and really be a downfield receiving threat, second and third level receiving threat like this offense is designed to be. But I believe in red zone and short yardage situation where he has to be in the line of scrimmage blocking, has to do some check down type things, or provide assistance to your tackle on the pass pro. I think that's where Danny Lewis is going to find his home in this style of offense. And then with those check down opportunities or those one-on-one opportunities that you're going to see the Y pops or the tight end pop type situation off of play action, that's where Danny Lewis is going to be able to be utilized. He's 6'6", 6'5", right there at 260, and that frame, big hands, strong hands. Not the best of hands when it comes to talking about receiving assets, but can provide some athletic plays with his size. And I can't wait to see him continue to develop. But where does he fit when you have guys like Josh Cuevas and Brody Dalton, the transfer from Troy, and the other transfer, I want to say his last name is Sakaro or Sakam. Been hearing a lot of things about him. But then Jay Lindsey is still a steady force in that room, showcasing his skill sets both at the H and the traditional tight end position. I'm going to go over here and pull this up for you all because as you all look at the clips, you see them kind of going through just release routes, trying to get the ball on the back shoulder of the running backs and the tight ends. Let me go back to the beginning. You saw protection drills. You saw the guys kind of not necessarily taking it light in practice, but when you see them into drills like this is the type of hype you want to see from everybody. Over-exaggerated, trying to make it any type of game-like situation. You see Marshall Pritchard diving over the guy, practicing from being aware of not taking those hits down low. A lot of tight ends going to get tackled down low. They're going to be aiming for legs. As a smart defensive back, I'm not tackling any tight ends from Alabama up top. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're ankle grabbing, hitting for the mid-thigh area, and keeping our heads up, trying to make solid wrapping tackles around those big guys and trying to use that momentum against them. Well, this is a drill that kind of helps wide receivers, running backs protect their legs, but also learning to fall forward. The momentum, like Derek Meadows just did. We're not trying to see that, Derek. You're getting a little too vertical right there. Let's go back. That boy took off, man. Hold on, chat. Let's see what Derek got going on over here. Hold on. Is this him when he up after Cole? Chat. Hold on, man. What do you got going on, man? Why you take off so high? Oh, whoa. Derek, calm down, man. You're a little too hype, man. Get your butt down, son. We don't need you that high. Look at him. Look at the look in his eyes, man. You can tell he was ready to go do something crazy. Look at him. Get up, boy. That boy up there, man. I love the footage from UA, man. Appreciate the footage. Oh, man, that's funny right there. I ain't gonna lie. That one funny right there. I don't want to see you jumping that high. But definitely trying to fall forward, use that momentum to go forward. But focusing on the tight ends, man, teaching these guys how to protect themselves, because I think this year in particular, we're going to see them utilized in a much more higher frequency than we've seen in recent years. Even dating back to Coach Saban's last few years, but it was like facts, wasn't it? Well, man, he was really on one, man. But yeah, make sure y'all paying attention to the small things like this though, because I think the tight end room right now is probably more hype about this season, not only because of what they're going to be able to do in the passing game, but just knowing that they are keyed in a lot of these play calls. A lot of this early repetitious, not necessarily turbo style, but the aggressive offensive play calling or approach where you're trying to reset and get back to the line of scrimmage to keep the same personnel groupings. When you have skill sets like Marshall Pritchard, when you have skill sets like Josh Cuevas available, when you have sets out there and you have maybe 13 personnel, maybe you have 12 personnel, maybe you go 14 personnel where you have 22 personnel where you have two tight ends and two backs, right? And one wide receiver, but you're able to split one of your wide receivers because you have receiver assets and you're able to put them as split wide and put your wide receiver number one, maybe that's the X or the Z for this formation, in Ryan Williams or Isaiah Horton in the slot, and you're still able to balance a passing attack off of maybe some play action reads. You're talking about split back sets. You're talking about stack back, true eye sets, pistol formations with two tight ends. So I would love to see everything utilized because of the skill sets available in this tight end room. And we have quarterbacks like Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell that really thrive on working in timing. These type of play calls make sense for the skill sets you have available. The tight end room, though, I'm excited to see some guys develop. We already talked about Josh Cuevas being the leader in that room. The transfer Brody Dalton is somebody that I've been just continuing to hear a lot of hype about. Not necessarily hype, but hear his name thrown in the mix, getting thrown into some one situations, some 1A, 1B type looks. And the other tight end, Jackson Marco, the transfer from I want to say Ball State was where he came from. That gentleman right there is going to be an immediate impact as far as in the line of scrimmage blocking, but also his deceptiveness in being able to, do the stall block and release, being able to do his check downs, get into the check downs, and being a receiving asset he's not going to go backwards. He's a north and south type runner with the ball in his hands. He's a hard tackle to bring down. I like what we're seeing with him. Now, it's two names that I really want to highlight in the tight end room that have been getting a lot of attention. I said this in the spring when things got shaken down with all the injuries, how Jay Lindsey would benefit from that. It looks as if that's where he's benefiting, that being the first H on most of the looks. You're looking at number 88, and then when you see number 89, that's the red shirt senior transfer from Troy University, Brody Dalton, and he's been a traveling man throughout his career in college. I think he started. Let me pull it up. He started at UAB, and then he transferred to Troy, and now after a solid showing at Troy, he is now at Alabama. So, an in-state guy from the state of Alabama, that has become an immediate impact, or has shown that he can be an immediate impact during spring ball here at fall camp at Alabama. I'm trying to find this other graphic. Here we go. We got both of these right here. So I'm gonna share this screen right here, and the two tight ends. It's crazy that they're right there next to each other on the not alpha roster. I'm getting back to military talk, chat. On the profiles as far as the roster here. 6'5", both 6'5", 250. You're looking at guys that really fit the mold of what Kalen DeBoer wants to recruit, right? Stanley, it says Brody Dawson just came from Troy. Let me see. We're gonna look at it. His career. Stats. Yeah, UAB and Troy. 22 was at UAB, transferred to Troy, and 23 and he played 23 and 24 at Troy. Now he's at Alabama. Got us a red shirt senior. Just wanted to make sure I put the right information out. What's up, Russell? Good to see you. Oh, you talking about the other tight end? Yeah, he just came from West Virginia. Yeah, I thought he was the Ball State guy. Russell McDaniel, what's good, my guy? Russell, we ain't seen you live in a minute. Good to see you, man. But we're talking the tight end room. Tight end rotation, I think, is going to be solidified this year. I truly believe because of those transfers coming in and starting to fit, you're going to see Marshall Pritchett put in, scenarios where it fits his skill set. Marshall Pritchett, to me, is another wide receiver. If he wasn't 6'4", 6'5", 240 plus, I think he would be another wide receiver. We saw last year Caleb Odom come in and really showcase his ability to be a tight end asset, and they immediately moved him to wide receiver, being at 6'5", that 225 range. I believe if Marshall Pritchett was in that same frame, that same look, I think he would be moved out to that X position, because at the tight end position, he's a mismatch problem. And I like him 6'5", right there, like the rest of the tight ends, 6'5", 250. You look at the commitments we got from Max Sutter, another 6'5" tight end that's going to come into this room and fit the mold. Marshall Pritchett is my guy for this season when it comes to the tight ends. I think he will probably be the guy that really emerges as the receiving asset out of the tight end room, more so than some of the others. Josh Cuevas will be the overall guy that does everything at a high pace, at a high clip, right? But I think Marshall Pritchett will end up this year, not next year, but this year, at some point, he'll end up being the guy that ends up being the go-to guy in the receiving asset. All right, Mary J., thank you for showing up and supporting. Y'all, we got Mary J. stepping off. We only got 5 more minutes. This is a post-practice report. Let's get into some more of our talks here on the Coach Smook Network. We talk about the QB battle. Everybody wants to know about the QB battle. I'm telling you, there is no more battle. There's a set tone and a set pecking order, so to say, for what we're going to see going forward for the rest of the season until unless we get in the season and something else comes about, I think right now Alabama is set with who they want to lead this offense or this team offensively, and that's Ty Simpson. I have yet to see or hear anything that says otherwise, and I'm in full confidence of supporting this. Now, to have a set pecking order to me lets you know that you have a lot more confidence in the skill sets and the assets that you have available. So plan A, you can run plan A through 2 guys and be confident in it. And then if you have to go to plan B, you got 2 guys that can try plan B, but then you also have a 3rd guy that's 100% plan B. If 1 and 2 fail, number 3 in plan B can work. And I know that didn't make sense how I said it, but just think about it. Your first option, Ty Simpson. Let's say our initial plan to approach this season offensively doesn't work with Ty Simpson. Well, as the head coach and the offensive coordinator, we both have confidence that QB number 2, Keelan Russell, can operate this offense just like Ty can if he can't do it with our first option of how we want everything utilized, right? But if neither one of these guys can go before we go to the 3rd quarterback and flip the page on the plan, let's flip the page on the plan and give it back to QB1. See if he can run plan B. We feel like we can win good enough with plan B. Let's run that. If QB1 can't run plan B, QB2 has a chance at plan B, right? And then if neither one of them could do it, now you're in trouble and you're going to QB number 3 with plan B. And at this point, you're trying to hold stuff together because it's just not working initially with what you brought to the table. When you have those options, those are basically 5 options at quarterback with 3 guys. I think we're in a good position. So let's be excited about the QB pecking order. Ty Simpson, I truly believe, will start against Florida State. Barring any crazy injuries or crazy happenings at the first scrimmage this weekend that we're going to see for fall practice. You're going to see basically a gameplay scrimmage type thing happening in practice, going over some of your game planning, right? Getting ready for Florida State, giving guys an opportunity to see some type of live action as far as reps and getting some type of live feel with play calling and pace of delivery, right? We're going to get to see that this week after this first full week of fall fall practice with full pads, being in full pads starting today. So that's going to be exciting to get some reports from that. On the defensive side, before we go to the defensive side, let's talk about the running back room. I got a text and said Daniel Hill and Richard Young look crazy coming out the backfield together. Seeing 9 and 4 in the backfield together kind of gives you eerie feelings of like the Lacey and Scarborough type look that we were getting to see at one point. To see these big body guys coming out the backfield, Daniel Hill's hands out the backfield probably don't get enough attention looking at kind of where he falls in the pecking order. But as you saw, Richard Young, that was something that he focused on in the offseason, working on his receiving out the backfield, something that separated him and Jam Miller. Jam Miller has probably the best hands out of the backfield, right? But you saw Richard Young put in work. I mean, literally running routes from the slot during workouts this summer. And he looks good splitting out to the slot. If you pay attention to some of the practice footage from day 2 or day 3, you see him lining up in the slot as all the running backs do during the drills. They get motion out to the slot, but it looks a little bit more fluent this year. It looks a lot more fluent this year coming out of as a receiver and Richard Young. So when we get into those sets where we might have a single back, formation with 4 wides and we're sending that running back out in motion, you have to respect your first 3 options coming off the bench for Alabama in Jam Miller, Richard Young, and Daniel Hill. And then I truly believe A.K. Deere is starting to make enough pop running with a majority of the threes. The type of breakaway plays that he's making at that level, you have to want to see him tested in order to see him continue to develop. And at some point in time, he will be option 2B. At some point in time, he will have an opportunity to run a lot of his reps against the 2s. And in that, with our defense, a lot of the 2s could be 1s elsewhere. So that's why I think the development of this running back room, this tight end room, is seeing a very high curve this fall camp compared to what we saw last fall camp and last spring. I think the development of those two rooms in particular, one, have to do with continuity and familiarity. 2, just the overall confidence of the veterans in those groups. You got a lot of veteran leadership in that running back room. A lot of guys that played in this system last year for their first year, and now they're returning, and you don't have a lot of teaching going on. There's maybe 1 or 2 guys in that room that have to get rep by rep teaching, and they're retaining. They're retaining and putting it out. So I love where the running back room is set. Looking at 9 and 4 coming out the backfield together is going to be crazy, though. I would love to see a power formation where you got your read option going, the triple option where you got your handoff to Daniel Hill coming across your face, more of the bruiser, and you may have a read off of him. Can you hand it off to him? If you do, you feel good about getting 2 to 3 yards off of his carry in the goal line. Or if you pull it with Ty Simpson or Austin Mack, I would love to see Austin Mack in red zone situations and his skill set with the ball in his hands as an option quarterback and his size and his frame. You put Austin Mack in the backfield with Richard Young and Daniel Hill, triple option, RPO. Come on, man. Dre Washington, the transfer. I see a lot of people asking about him. I think because of where he falls on skill set, being strong in pass pro, we might see Dre more than we expect early in the season. I think he's going to get a few opportunities to showcase his ability to be a pass protection, a solid running back and pass pro. So I think we're going to get to see that opportunity a lot early in the season. But if it was left up to me, I think he just finds himself in situational ball. Like I said, with Richard Young and Daniel Hill in goal line, if you're getting in a lot of goal line situations and those two have had 7 to 9 reps in the goal line and they're not producing, yes, I bring in a guy like Dre Washington, who's more so of a downhill runner, smaller frame, more compact frame in 5'10", I believe, 5'11", more of a compact frame, 230, 225, 230 weight range. Somebody that's going to be hard to bring down, that's got a lower center of gravity, can get lost behind the line, that big offensive line that we have. The average height on our offensive line is 6'3" right now. So Parker Brailsford being the shortest at the center at 6'2", and everybody else around him is 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". So having a smaller guy like Dre is going to be beneficial, I believe, in those type of situations, especially in the pass pro. We definitely need to see consistent pass protection. I think the running back room did good last year in pass pro with some of the situations that they were put in. Jalen Milroe holding on to the ball a lot longer than he should have a lot of times, or not giving the check down after they chip and get out in the flats. We probably didn't see the value in it, but I think this year we're going to have an opportunity to see it. Now let's switch to the other side of the ball. We got about 10 more minutes left, or about 7 more minutes left on this segment here. The Smook Scoop post practice report, and if you haven't already over on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up. We got how many we got in the chat right now? We have 29 in the chat right now on YouTube. We got 3 in the chat on Facebook. Between both Facebook channels pages, and then we have 43 in the chat on Twitter. Continue to run the likes up. If you're on Twitter, tap in on the YouTube side at Coach Smook on YouTube and TikTok. Also, I see y'all coming through, tapping the screen. Continue to tap the screen, man. We've been hitting 2.5K likes the last few streams. Anytime we've been live for more than 30 minutes, you guys have been tapping and getting us over 2K likes. Thank y'all for the support. Let's get back into the conversation. Now, let's switch to the other side of the ball, and let's talk about the linebacker room. I've been excited about the linebackers because of the depth of talent there. There's a lot of talent in both of those rooms, in both areas of the linebacker room. I'm talking about the outside linebackers and the inside linebackers. When I talk about the outside linebacker room, we're particularly talking about the wolf position. Quay Russaw, Yanzi Pierre, Justin Hill, Ja Latham, Noah Carter. Who else is out there in that position? We got a few in that position. But looking at the inside linebacker room, I love what I'm hearing about, with Deontay Lawson being out, Justin Jefferson kind of knowing what his skill set possesses and seeing him become more comfortable as a vocal guy, to not even hear their names be the forefront of what we're seeing production-wise and as far as the staff's confidence in what's available. I love the fact that Nakai Hill-Green has come over from Colorado and has bought into what Alabama requires as a high-impact player, somebody that's going to have to be counted on to play a lot of impactful reps. I also like to hear the fact that you have 2 young guys in QB Reese and Abdul Sanders Jr. really stepping up and showcasing that they have sort of a veteran presence with their approach to the game. And to me, I think the inside linebacker room, Mike linebacker, Will linebackers, more so than anything, more so than physicality, they have to have a high IQ. And when I talk to a young man like Abdul Sanders Jr. about the game of football, not what Alabama wants him to do, but the game of football in itself, what's required from a linebacker to be successful, the things you're looking at the snap. And he says he has certain keys. He's talking about the offensive linemen and their alignment, their splits. He's talking about, at the snap, if I see a shoulder turn this way, if I see a guy square here, I can expect this here, and understanding that at a basis is very key to being able to thrive in the defensive scheme that Kane Womack runs out as 4-2-5, because your linebackers are in space a lot and they have to make split-second decisions. You might have a run blitz call and the alignment changes pre-snap, and you have to be able to make that adjustment without making a call, verbal call, and everybody around you has to know that that's an adjustment because of your step. Everybody on the second level behind you has to know because of that first step, that's the call that we're getting because that's what he's seeing. And this is the type of defense that relies on that. A lot of balance, a lot of shift balance type scheme to force reads into areas where you can swarm to the ball. And I like hearing the fact that you have two young guys in Abdul Sanders Jr. and QB Reed's really showing up. Now, Caden Jones is a name that we haven't been hearing a lot of hype about, but I truly believe he's in the perfect spot right now. He's in a position where if you're playing against a team that's run heavy and you're going to be rotating this inside linebacker room like I expect us to do, Caden Jones is going to be the guy that has 3 or 4 games throughout the season where he's able to pop. On top of some of the games where I believe Alabama is just so far ahead defensively that they'll be put in position to be successful and have a lot of garbage minutes and get guys to get some quality things on film so that we can prepare for the mass exodus that we're going to see with this veteran roster transition into the 2026 season. And finally, the last two things we're going to talk about. We got about 4 minutes. We're going to try to run through this real quick. The secondary. Listen to the numbers: 1, 5, 9, 21, 18. That was the first group that stepped out today. In reports on sevens, when you're running pass scales or whatever, and you're running some of your offensive scheme versus some of your original defensive scheme, or you're trying to run some of the Florida State blanket coverage, and you're running some Florida State blanket concepts as far as offensive pass scales. This group was the first group out there, and I hope he did not just fart, because it stinks if he did. Oh my God, y'all, Boss is on one right now, and he's really being a spoiled brat right now. Bay got him spoiled. We gotta make sure we don't let him be spoiled. But 1, 5, 9, 21, 18. Just remember that grouping. That's a solid grouping. You talk about Drake Kirkpatrick and Bray Hubbard playing at the top of your defense. To me, that screams out, quick pass, playing against quick pass type offense, lateral run scheme, trying to get guys out in the perimeter. Those two safeties are really solid in run support and really aggressive. Ike Taylor getting some burn next to Mincy is huge news for me. Red Morgan still floating around from the boundary to that nickel corner spot, showing his versatility. A lot of names being thrown around, but that first group, 1, 5, 9, 21, and 18, definitely going to be interesting to see how that shakes up. Knowing that we saw some great showing from Zay Mincy and Keon Sabb being fully healthy, we know he's going to be probably your first free safety off the bench. On the field when it comes to throwing your first group out there. I'm excited to see what the secondary continues to develop into. And last but not least, finally, man, 11, 92, and 94. We're talking about defensive linemen. Jordan Renard, Jordan Renard, Jeremiah Beeman, and Edric Hill. 3 names that we were hearing pop in spring ball. And I believe this trio is strategic. I think this is going to be a trio that we see a lot of when it comes to playing a lot in the green area on the field between your 40 and your other 40. I believe this group of defensive linemen is going to be utilized a lot, especially against teams that want to try to run the ball in the green area on the field, in between the 40s. I think once you get into the red zone that's when you're going to see more of your heavier packets. Boss, that's not it. That is not it, bro. I'm gonna get him, y'all. He just peed on the floor. he just peed on the floor. But we got we got 3 guys in that interior, or that from the bandit to that interior position. That rotation there is going to be very versatile. I think we have 11 defensive linemen on this roster that are true defensive linemen on this roster, and I think that those 3 will find themselves garnering a lot of attention when that position group or that trio of guys is on the field together. Because I could see those 3, 11, 92, 94, being your bandit defensive tackle and nose tackle, and then put in, maybe if you got to go heavy, put in Keon Keeley at the wolf position and put in Quay Rusoff and Nakai Hill Green, or another one of your inside linebacker assets at the other at the Mike position, right? And having a solid run fitting, edge rushing, pass rushing, run blitzing personnel grouping to stop the run. and have 6 defenders on the back end that can really drop in coverage, right? So I look at the front. I look at how the front 6, front 7 is coming together. That rotation of those 3, 11, 92, and 94 is something that I think you all should be, boss, yeah, he out here acting a fool, to be very keen on and paying attention to going into this fall season. So that's my post-practice report, y'all. That's what I got for y'all. Some of the notes that I got. Of course, we're going to be talking more about it later on today. It will be live on TikTok here at 1:30 Gaming. But we'll be opening up on TikTok to, have some conversations about some questions or whatever you have going into the season. What you want to know. Coach Smook might already know it. Coach Smook might already know it. Who's looking at what? Who's at what position? Who's at rotation? What the depth chart look like? I probably already know it. So tap in with your boy on TikTok today at 1:30. We'll be going live doing some gaming content. And then after that, tonight, we don't have any live shows tonight. We might do a late night Q&A/call-in show just to test everything out to get ready for our call-in show on Friday. But the next time you will for sure see us live is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll be doing our Coach Smook morning show. We'll be bringing some topics to you all, talking some hypothetical things involving Alabama football. But then this Friday is the first Friday. We'll be doing our first initial breakdown going into the Florida State game. We'll be watching some film. We'll have some clips ready for Friday. And we'll break this thing down so that you all can be prepared for Alabama versus Florida State in Tallahassee, August 30th, where we kick off our 2025 season, year 2 under Kalen DeBoer and the new DeBoer era of Alabama football. So if you enjoyed today's live stream, if you enjoyed today's Smook Scoop and the insight that we were able to provide from our post-practice report, make sure you drop a like, make sure you share it. Also, be on the lookout. We do have B-roll coming. I haven't been posting it directly. I really been going live so we can do live reactions to it together. But as soon as it's available, we will provide some content around that. And I think you all have been enjoying it, being able to see that footage uncut and having us react to it. So we'll continue to feed that to you all as we get it. We have more footage coming in. Let me go back. What days do we have more footage left? We have footage coming in from today, and the next time we'll have like actual footage from the university be the 19th, and that'll be the day that we actually are on campus doing our post-practice reporting for you all here on the Coach Smook Network and for the Alabama Voice of College. Well, the 19th will be the first one we do with the Alabama Voice of College Football, and then from then on, all your post-practice reports, all your fall post-game reports and everything will be coming from myself and our panel over there on the Alabama Voice of College Football. You pull up there to get those. So if you haven't liked and subscribed over on the YouTube channel, Alabama Voice of College Football, make sure you do so. But make sure you tap in on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you tap in at Coach Smook on all those platforms. Instagram also, we'll be starting to do our morning show on Instagram. So this Friday, you will see the Coach Smook morning show, 8 o'clock a.m. on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And then we would do the Smook Scoop post-practice reports on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So we got a lot of platforms that we're moving from, that we're trying to cater to our fan base, our community, by showing up and having a presence there. A lot of people have been asking about us doing our gaming content on Twitch. I don't too much care for Twitch, but we continue to get demand for it. We'll definitely pop back out on Twitch. And we actually just got our monetization email from Twitch, so we might as well go ahead and start doing it just to see what happens. Don't necessarily have a plan for how we're going to grow on Twitch. It's a weird space, but we're going to do everything we can to keep the content flowing. And so with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Jimmy, appreciate the like on Facebook, man. If you're on Facebook and you've been watching and you ain't liked it, you're wrong. Drop a reaction, laugh at it or something. And make sure, again, y'all subscribe to the Voice of College Football. Don't forget, y'all, I don't know what's going on with our merch site. We might just go ahead and launch the personal site, keep it basic, and take orders to where we're doing the shipping and handling. But I'm going to try one more time to get this link posted for you all today. And so y'all can have access to the new merch that we're going to have available. Got to get y'all branded in that AAA, the AAA logo, but also the ready-to-play content and the Scoop Boogie. Y'all want to see what Scoop Boogie is? Tap in on TikTok today at 1:30, and we might create a few Scoop Boogie moments. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for showing up today. And remember, hold up, I got to do this the right way. I got to do this the right way because somebody else been trying to do it, but they can't do it. They can't do it like Coach Smook. Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Time. Roll.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok. Subscribe. You do roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok, roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. Twitter X, roll with the tide. Down in the gump, down in the gump, down in the gump with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. Instagram, roll with the tide. Who that? Take your face off that banner.